In part 3 of this story, we left a pensive Abijith and his patched-up motorcycle on the Trans-Siberian Express headed for Moscow. The 5,500-kilometer journey would give him a lot of time to think about the last 4 months he spent on the road.
It was a good journey. It was 5,500 kilometers across Russia and still just 1/3 of the whole Russia. The golden hours were something else. The landscapes were like really lush green. The skies, the clouds, I could rate it amongst the best sunsets I've witnessed so far.
His biggest fear still loomed though, the expiration date on his Russian visa. He arrived in Moscow with 2 days to spare and found a place to stay. His bike having arrived safely, Abijith explored Moscow with the local biker community and got to experience some interesting things. Meanwhile in Berlin, Royal Enfield had shipped a brand new motorcycle frame to one of its dealers. Early the next morning, Abijith set out to the Russian border. The journey to Berlin would be a test of his nerve and the motorcycle's remaining strength.
We're at the border, but there's a huge queue as you guys can see.
Little did he know that there was an unexpected surprise waiting for him.
There was a small blunder in that border crossing. I completely forgot about my motorcycle insurance for Europe. I was just checking my bag and I found my Indian insurance, motorcycle insurance. Luckily, the Latvians didn't know to read English that well. And I just pointed them out at the dates, the expiry date, and I still had time. So that's how I crossed into Latvia without having a European insurance.
With the visa fear behind him, Abijith hoped for an uneventful 2,000-kilometer ride to Berlin. Worn out from his Mongolian ordeal and his hurried journey across Russia, Abijith took some time off on entering the EU to soak in some culture and catch up with old friends.
And we're visiting on Old Town with my host, Toby. So what are we doing today?
Rejuvenated, he headed to Berlin. Serendipity would strike again. His arrival in Berlin was perfectly timed to cross paths with a traveler he was dying to meet in person ever since he left India.
There, I was being hosted by this wonderful chap called Matthias.
So we are from India to Berlin. That's Matthias, who did his journey from Berlin to India.
With Matthias playing host, Abijith could now breathe easy and use the week-long stay in Berlin to get his motorcycle rebuilt.
Andreas was my mechanic there who helped me build the bike.
The Germans weren't familiar with the Himalayan since it hadn't yet been launched there, but that didn't hold them back. With meticulous planning, they proceeded to strip the bike apart and rebuild it on the new frame. After months of trepidation and uncertainty, Abijith could now breathe a sigh of relief. The Germans had come through, and the rebuild was a success. With his bike restored, he embarked on the European leg of his journey.
The next one was the phase 2 of the journey. So my route was from Berlin. The last point on the Western Europe was Netherlands.
What's up? Up, man. After 4 years.
In 2012, when I was in the Himalayas, I met this guy called Renus. And he had ridden all the way from Netherlands to India. Lovely to just go meet him because I was meeting him after 5 years.
And there's some cheese. Cheese. This is the most delicious food I've ever had in this journey.
I went to Amsterdam for the masala dosa at Sarvana Bhavan and the filter coffee because it had been like 4.5 months since I had a masala dosa.
With the taste of home still lingering, Abijith headed to explore the magnificence of the Alps.
I took a small detour. I wanted to see Switzerland badly because everyone were telling me about how beautiful the landscapes are. And it is really beautiful. It just looks like a desktop wallpaper. And I had another friend in Nice, and I was there for like good 4 days.
2 महीने के बाद we are meeting here.
मैंने इसे धोखा दिया था मरने
हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया वाला. So let's take Cecile's account on what she thinks of 2 motorcycle travelers from India.
For the first time in months, Abijith was finally living in the moment. A quick stop for some parts courtesy Royal Enfield, and Abijith joined his childhood friend Ashish in Munich to head down the Trans-European Trail, an off-road trail filled with numerous perils.
Do you think my bike will make it?
I'm sure mine will. I don't know about you.
Would the new frame hold up to the rugged terrain of the TET, or would his Himalayan let him down again? Follow this story in part 5.
26 countries, 25,000 kilometers, one motorcycle. I am Abijith Rao. Follow me on my epic journey.